Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road with the hybrid. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Orem Toyota for giving me some time with this Tacoma. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbo 2.4 liter 4-cylinder hybrid that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 22 around town, 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 326 horsepower and then 465 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood of the Tacoma, it's raised there on either side, and one easy way to tell this is the hybrid, it says iForce Max there. Now popping down below, you've got the normal new Tacoma headlights, blacked out the bezel, the grill's blacked out, you've got the Toyota logo. I've seen a lot of people swapping this out, the grill for the Toyota grill that has the Heritage logo. Fog lights there at the bottom. You do have the air dam with this, which does help out with fuel efficiency, doesn't help out with front end approach, so you can always remove that if you want a better approach angle. Turning wheel setup is 265 by 70 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. You can see here at the wheels, you got the silver on the outside, blacked out on the center. Got Bilstein shocks with the TRD off-road package. You got these big fender flares, which these are my favorite in the Tacoma because I don't like the painted ones so much. Tacoma logo there on the side, and then here is your side profile. I think this color is pretty cool looking. Now this leads us to the key fob. We've got our lock and unlock function there, Toyota logo at the bottom. Pretty straightforward setup. And then when it comes to the bed, so the tailgate, it does slow lower down. And then I don't think this one has the air compressor. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It does have the 12 volt and everything in there. This one has the bed mat, which is a nice feature. You've got an outlet there on the other side, composite bed. And then the tailgate on this one is manual. iForce Max there. And then you can see with the taillights, pretty cool looking, but there's the rear. And then popping inside, this is kind of more basic with the interior. It still says TRD there, but like hard touch here. And then these are covered in plastic, but this has the cloth seats. I don't know if we can see here on the side. See there with the cloth. You lose the underseat storage with the hybrid. And then pretty typical with the legroom for a mid-size pickup truck. You do have a nice grab handle, which helps out with accessing. And then it looks like this one's got the power rear window, but there's the back seat area. Now popping up front, we've got soft touch here on the armrest, TRD. All of your window controls here, the mirror adjustments, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. Payload capacity is 1,200 pounds. And then again, cloth with the front seats, just got the covering on it. Power adjustments on the side. You've got the buttons to add auxiliary items if you want. Turn on your little outlet, and then you can see for the cargo light. Steering wheel, manually adjustable. So taking a look at the steering wheel, you get the upgraded steering wheel with the nice kind of perforated trim on either side, and then you've got the kind of like rougher texture at the top and the bottom. Practical controls like your adaptive cruise control here in the front. It's got lane centering. You've got your volume voice command controls on the other side, and then traditional stocks here. Toyota just keeps things simple. And then you can see with the gauge cluster, it is digital. Your drive modes will pop up here. This does have multi-train select because it is a TRD off-road, but that's just your regular drive modes. Just regular backup camera in reverse, really good resolution. Trajectory on its turn with the steering wheel. And then this has the bigger infotainment system. So quick response time, going to the different tabs with the screen, and like the red TRD stop start button. Heated seats down below, single zone climate, got nice little switches for that. Wireless phone charging pad, got some USB ports there and everything. Shifter here for the 8-speed, get your parking brake and your auto hold. Traditional 2-speed transfer case. You got your tow haul mode, crawl control, multi-terrain select, and then rear locking differential. Got some cup holders here, nice trim on the center console. Storage, you got some storage above the glove box itself, Tacoma logo right there. And then this is for the rear window to open that up. And then this truck happens to be equipped with the sunroof. So this one has quite a few options added to it. So it goes a bit from the $46,000 base MSRP to $55,048 after everything. So with that being said, let's see how it performs. Well, let us set up in the hybrid TRD off-road. One thing that I do like about the, again, I own a, if you don't know, if you don't follow the channel, I own a new Land Cruiser, and so I have this same powertrain, and we'll put Land Cruiser in quotes because it's really a Prado. But anyways, I do enjoy this powertrain under certain circumstances. So first off, the low end torque really helps out with the 4-cylinder. And with the Tacoma, when you compare this to the previous gen 3.5 liter V6, this just blows the 3.5 liter V6 out of the water when it comes to low end acceleration. It is really, really sharp. And so that is good. And then even on the top end, again, this just has more horsepower. So it's got a little bit more of a top end. And the biggest thing you notice is like when you, here in Utah, when you go up canyons and stuff, this engine doesn't struggle and gear hunt and everything like the old V6 with the 6-speed. But this engine can be a little bit, I would say, abrasive at times. It can be a little bit rough sometimes with the gear shifts, and then just at the top end. And that's just 4-cylinder turbos. They're always rough at the top end. Yeah, just look at that, just torque monster. It's really, really cool. And the other thing that I think that is quite impressive about this setup is the TRD off-road. This new TRD off-road is very luxe. I'm not talking about the interior necessarily. I mean, this is kind of more baseline with the cloth and all of that. But what is definitely luxe is like the ride quality is really good. Like the dampening's great on road. It feels like it's more insulated than before. So just kind of more luxury than it was before. Yeah, the ride's definitely great. And the seats, they hold you in place pretty darn well. So I think that's a nice bit of comfort to have. And you just kind of very lightly get into it, and it's just torquing away. It's the best way for me to put it. Now the TRD off-road package, I think, is more than enough capability for most people. I've had a chance to take out the Trail Hunter. Really cool package, but over $10,000 more than this. And this can already do so much. I mean, Toyota's modern multi-terrain select is phenomenal. And this also has a rear locking differential. You'd have a hard time getting this thing stuck, really. So I think that for most people, if you're gonna actually take your TRD off-road, or if you're actually gonna take your Tacoma off-road rather, this is more than enough. Where I personally draw the line is TRD off-road premium hybrid compared to Trail Hunter, because a TRD off-road hybrid premium is so close in price to a Trail Hunter that I almost feel like it's worth jumping up to the Trail Hunter, because the extra kit that the Trail Hunter offers, it makes sense if you're actually gonna go off-road, right? Getting the rack in the back, getting the bumper setup, getting the raised air intake, and the Trail Hunter has the onboard air compressor, the different shocks and suspension, like all of that makes sense once you go up to that part. But this, at this range in the TRD off-road, it's like you could still definitely justify going for this over the Trail Hunter. Just my 2 cents on that. Yeah, this is really impressive. I really hope that this new generation of powertrains ends up being reliable, because if it does, I mean, that would be awesome, being able to get the better fuel economy and having the power that this has. Because, and you know, I will say, I feel like with every single generation of Toyota, there is a downside. So like the previous gen, they had good fuel range. Fuel economy wasn't that great though. And so that was like the big downside. It's like you have a super reliable, off-road capable, well-built vehicle, but it just doesn't get all that good of a fuel economy, but not too big of a problem because the fuel range, pretty good. This newest generation, I think the biggest problem outside of, again, the initial reliability stuff, which every single time Toyota releases a new car, there's gonna be some stuff initially, they work it out over the course of production, but is the fuel range. They did small fuel tanks, and so I'm wondering if this is gonna be a change that Toyota makes in the future with these, is just adding bigger fuel tanks to these so they have more fuel range. Because that's, if these had a bigger fuel tank and they're able to, which I'm sure they'll be able to work through the reliability stuff. it's Toyota we're talking about here, then I mean, it's so much better than the previous gen in terms of the off-road capability and the power, and then the economy's better. Yeah, it'd be a tough sell in the sense of not getting this over a previous gen. So let me know your thoughts on the TRD off-road with the hybrid. I think in this format it makes sense because it's over $10,000 less than a Trail Hunter and a TRD Pro, and so with that big price gap, it's like, yeah, you're actually saving money. So let me know your thoughts.